Hello, my name is Paige McCormick, and I have been put in charge of selecting the images for your billboards by my company, which has been hired to work on your campaign for neighborhood safety. I have reviewed the current images and determined that it is not the most appropriate image for your campaign, because they do not represent the cultural environments that we are viewing. I have chosen 2 new images. These images contain culturally familiar elements for suburban and urban neighborhoods. The elements in these images will lead to a cognitive response, bringing up past memories and experiences in the target audience. These responses will lead to their engagement and want to join this campaign for neighborhood safety. To create a relationship with the target audience, you must connect with their emotions according to Robert Landa. The correct emotional connection with individuals creates strong relationships, builds brand communities, and fosters loyalty. Figuring out how to connect with the target audience means you must understand their culture and communities. For these images, what connects to an audience in a suburban neighborhood may not connect to an audience in an urban neighborhood. The images that I have chosen will relate to audiences from a suburban neighborhood and audience from an urban neighborhood. For the suburban neighborhood, I chose an image with familiar elements. These elements include foliage such as grass, trees, and shrubs, uniform housing with driveways for their cars. There are large areas of grass for the children to play. As for the urban neighborhood, the cultural elements include a variety of small and large buildings, streets filled with cars, apartment buildings. As far as foliage, you can see there's no grass for the children to play on. When looking at these images, you can see that the cultural elements differ as far as the suburban neighborhood contains single-family homes with yards to play in, and the urban neighborhood contains apartment complexes where multiple families live, and there is a gated area for the children to play safely. I chose to pick images with children as I feel their safety is the highest risk. In the urban neighborhood, we must focus on traffic as it is the biggest safety issue for children playing. There is still the same concern for children in the suburban neighborhood, even though there is less traffic. We must also focus on the importance of parental supervision when children are playing outside, as small children run the risk of accidentally running into the street. The elements in the suburban image include less traffic, open grassy areas to play, and children gathering together to play creates a cognitive response of suburban residents who've had experiences growing up living in similar suburban environments with these same elements. Their past experiences with the safety in these environments gives viewers an emotional response that leads them to support the improvements to the safety in the community, giving them the reason to support the campaign. The elements in the urban neighborhood, such as the gated area for children to play and increased traffic, individuals who grew up with a different experience, lacking the added experience of the gated play area in an area with lots of traffic, leads them to support the campaign to further improve the safety in the neighborhood. It is important to use images that are familiar with the target audience to invoke emotional engagement. According to Robin Landa, using imagery that connects with an individual emotionally can have a greater impact than the previously chosen images. The emotional engagement of the audience in the suburban neighborhood comes from the added benefits that they would receive as they feel their neighborhood is already safe. The urban audience's emotional engagement comes from the benefits that they would receive from the law enforcement safety campaign, as this campaign promises to improve their safety in their neighborhood. The use of semantic codes is to create a shared understanding among viewers. The use of metonymic codes causes the viewer to make assumptions about the images. This is used in both images. In the suburban image, the children are playing outside, but they are supervised by a parent. In the urban neighborhood, the children are playing in a gated area away from the busy streets. These concepts for the mnemonic code for neighborhood safety. After viewing the previous images and the new images to improve neighborhood safety, it is obvious that the new image is needed for both the suburban and urban neighborhoods, since these individuals live in a different environment. Their emotional response to the images and their cultural familiarity with these new images, law enforcement campaign can be expected to capture the audience's attention and gain their support for the neighborhood safety campaign.